Every day we make choices, small, often unnoticed decisions that accumulate over time. Imagine your life as a bank account. Every action, every thought, every habit either deposits value into your account or withdraws from it. And the balance of that account, that determines your success. Success is not built overnight. It is the sum of consistent intentional deposits made day after day. Waking up early to plan your day is a deposit. Reading a book that expands your perspective is a deposit. Saying yes to opportunities to grow, even when it's uncomfortable, is a deposit. Each of these deposits might seem minor in isolation, but their cumulative effect compounds into something extraordinary. On the other side, every time you procrastinate, complain without seeking solutions, or waste your energy on things that do not matter, you are making debits. These may seem insignificant at the moment, a few minutes scrolling through social media, skipping a workout, or avoiding a tough conversation, but over weeks and months, these debits erode your potential. What's fascinating is that most people focus on the dramatic events, the big wins or big losses, and they forget about the daily deposits and debits. But success doesn't emerge from the occasional big effort. It emerges from consistent, mindful actions that add value and subtract distraction. The key is awareness. Begin by auditing your life. Where are your deposits? Where are your debits? Are you investing time in relationships, health, and personal growth? Or are you allowing negative habits and excuses to drain your account? Success is not luck. It is intentionality. It is choosing deposits over debits consistently, even when no one is watching. Over time, those deposits build momentum. They create resilience, confidence, and capability. And when opportunity arrives, you are prepared to seize it. On the other hand, unchecked debits accumulate silently, creating obstacles that seem insurmountable when suddenly you face a challenge. Remember, you are the chief architect of your account. Your daily choices, no matter how small, are powerful. If you commit to making meaningful deposits consistently, success becomes inevitable, not because of luck, but because you've built the foundation for it every single day. Your success story is not written in dramatic moments. It is written in the quiet, persistent habits, in the choices that often go unnoticed. Invest wisely, avoid unnecessary withdrawals, and watch as your life grows richer, not just in wealth or recognition, but in purpose, fulfillment, and impact. 5 keynotes of the speech: small daily actions compound success is built through consistent, intentional deposits, not occasional dramatic efforts. Awareness of debits matters. Identifying negative habits, distractions, and energy drains is crucial to prevent erosion of potential. Intentionality is key. Success is a result of mindful choices rather than luck or circumstance. Balance and momentum, consistent deposits build resilience and readiness, while unchecked debits create obstacles over time. The quiet power of habits. True success emerges from persistent, often unnoticed habits that shape long-term outcomes. When we talk about success, we often think about grand gestures, the moments that make headlines, the promotions, the awards, or the breakthroughs. Yet, the truth is that these dramatic moments are rarely what determine the course of our lives. What truly matters is the accumulation of small daily actions, the deposits we make into our personal bank account of growth, skill, and character. These deposits may seem trivial when seen individually. Waking up 30 minutes earlier than usual, writing down 3 priorities for the day, taking a brisk walk, or even making a small effort to connect with someone meaningfully might feel insignificant. But success is rarely a result of a single, spectacular leap forward. It is the steady, consistent accumulation of these small, deliberate actions that compounds over time, creating momentum that eventually produces extraordinary results. Think of your daily deposits as bricks. 1 brick doesn't build a house. 2 bricks won't even create a wall. But each brick, carefully and deliberately placed, forms the foundation, the structure, and eventually the home. Similarly, each positive action we take every day, each decision to invest in ourselves, our relationships, and our knowledge adds to a structure that grows stronger and more resilient over time. It is easy to underestimate the power of these small actions because we do not see immediate results. The walk you take today to improve your health does not instantly transform your body, but over weeks and months, those walks improve your stamina, your energy, and your overall well-being. The 5 pages you read each morning do not instantly make you an expert, but over time, the knowledge compounds and begins to influence your decisions and perspective. The short conversations where you express gratitude or encouragement do not instantly change someone's life, but they deepen relationships and create trust that becomes invaluable later. Consistency is what transforms deposits into lasting impact. One-off actions, even if impressive, are fleeting. The person who writes a single brilliant essay or delivers a single outstanding presentation may shine for a moment, but the person who writes a little every day, owns their skill continually, and seeks feedback consistently is the one who builds mastery. The same applies to habits that shape character, resilience, and discipline. Every day you choose patience over frustration, focus over distraction, or effort over avoidance, you are making deposits into a version of yourself that is more capable, more disciplined, and more prepared to succeed. Another critical aspect of these daily deposits is intention. A deposit without awareness is less powerful than a conscious, deliberate deposit. It is not enough to simply go through the motions. The most meaningful deposits are those made with clear purpose. Journaling with reflection, exercising with focus, learning with curiosity, or helping someone with sincerity are all deposits that carry weight precisely because they are intentional. It is this alignment of purpose and action that allows small efforts to compound into substantial results over time. The cumulative power of daily deposits also builds confidence. Each small action becomes evidence that you can follow through, that you can take control of your life, and that you are capable of growth. This self-evidence fuels further action. The habit of consistent deposits creates a cycle. Small wins lead to confidence. Confidence leads to more consistent deposits. And over time, these deposits yield tangible results that feel like breakthroughs, though they are in reality the outcome of countless unseen efforts. In essence, the power of small daily actions lies in their compounding effect. Just as money grows exponentially in a bank account through regular deposits and interest, our efforts grow over time, producing results that far exceed what any single action could achieve. Success is not a single event. It is the natural outcome of daily investments in ourselves, our skills, and our relationships. Recognizing the value of these small deposits, committing to them consistently, and understanding their long-term impact is one of the most important mindsets anyone can adopt in their pursuit of meaningful achievement. While deposits are essential, it is equally important to understand the power of debits, the daily actions, habits, and thoughts that quietly erode our potential. Just as a bank account can grow steadily with careful deposits, it can also shrink without us noticing. Drained by small, seemingly insignificant withdrawals, these debits are often subtle, disguised as minor distractions or harmless choices. Skipping a workout once might feel inconsequential, but when repeated over weeks and months, it affects your energy, health, and confidence. Spending a few extra hours scrolling through social media or binge watching shows might seem relaxing, but it consumes time that could have been invested in learning, building skills, or nurturing meaningful relationships. These are the debits that silently accumulate, reducing our capacity to achieve the success we aspire to. One of the most dangerous aspects of debits is that they often masquerade as productivity or necessity. Complaining about a situation without seeking a solution might feel like release or expression, but it drains mental energy and focus. Constantly worrying about what might go wrong can immobilize action and decrease confidence. Even small decisions like choosing comfort over challenge or convenience over growth contribute to a pattern of debits that gradually weakens the foundation of success. Because these debits are incremental, it is easy to overlook them. We don't notice them because, unlike the visible thrill of a big win, their effects are invisible at first. Yet over time, the cumulative impact can be profound, creating limitations that are difficult to reverse. Awareness is the first step in mitigating these debits. Just as we track our finances to understand where money is being spent unnecessarily, we must audit our time, energy, and attention. Where are we withdrawing from our potential without realizing it? Are we avoiding hard conversations because they are uncomfortable? Are we letting distractions fragment our focus so we never accomplish meaningful work? Are we neglecting self-care, relationships, or personal growth because we prioritize immediate gratification over long-term value? By identifying these habitual debits, we can begin to make conscious choices that prevent erosion and preserve the balance of our personal account. Debits not only affect tangible outcomes, but also shape mindset and self-perception. When we continually give in to procrastination, negative thinking, or avoidance, we reinforce a sense of limitation. Each debit sends a signal: we are not disciplined, we are not resilient, or we are not committed. Over time, these signals accumulate, creating patterns of behavior that are self-fulfilling. The subtle drain of repeated debits can overshadow even the most substantial deposits if we are not vigilant. Success, therefore, is as much about preventing unnecessary withdrawals as it is about making deposits. The antidote to this erosion lies in conscious, intentional living. Recognizing every small action as either a deposit or a debit empowers us to take control. Avoiding debits requires discipline, self-reflection, and sometimes discomfort. It requires saying no to short-term pleasures in favor of long-term gains and resisting the urge to settle for easy but unproductive choices. Over time, the discipline of minimizing debits compounds in the same way that deposits do, producing greater clarity, resilience, and readiness to take advantage of opportunities. Understanding the dual forces of deposits and debits transforms how we approach success. It shifts the focus from dramatic, occasional efforts to the quiet, daily choices that accumulate over time. While deposits grow our potential, debits can silently diminish it if left unchecked. Awareness, intentionality, and consistent effort to minimize these withdrawals are what allow deposits to manifest as real, tangible success. Success is not a single event, but the net result of the balance between our daily investments and our daily drains, and recognizing this is a critical step in taking control of our own trajectory. Intentionality is the cornerstone of lasting success. Making deposits and minimizing debits is not enough if these actions are not guided by purpose and conscious awareness. Every decision we make, every habit we cultivate, and every thought we entertain should serve a deliberate goal, even if that goal is simply becoming the best version of ourselves. Too often, people operate on autopilot, reacting to circumstances, following routines without thought, or drifting through life based on external pressures. In such a state, even well-intended deposits can lose their power, and debits can quietly accumulate without resistance. The difference between those who achieve meaningful success and those who fall short is not luck or intelligence. It is the degree to which they live intentionally, with awareness of how each action shapes their trajectory. Intentionality begins with clarity. We must understand what we want and why we want it. Without a clear purpose, Deposits become random acts, disconnected from a greater vision, and debits creep in unnoticed. For instance, someone might exercise daily, read consistently, or network regularly, but without aligning these actions with a clear goal, the energy invested may not yield meaningful results. When actions are intentional, every small effort becomes a strategic step toward a larger objective. The morning spent reflecting on priorities, the time invested in skill development, or the energy devoted to building relationships is no longer trivial. It becomes a conscious contribution to the person we are becoming and the outcomes we wish to achieve. Intentional living also requires prioritization. Not every action is equally valuable. We must differentiate between what adds true long-term value and what only appears urgent in the moment. This is where awareness of debits intersects with intentionality. Every time we choose to indulge in a distraction, procrastinate, or react impulsively, we are not only withdrawing energy, but also misaligning ourselves from our purpose. By identifying and eliminating actions that do not serve our greater goals, we preserve the focus and resources necessary to amplify the deposits that truly matter. Intentionality is about saying no as much as it is about saying yes. It is about making deliberate choices that align with values, goals, and vision, even when the immediate reward is not obvious or convenient. Consistency amplifies intentionality. A single deliberate action has limited impact, but repeated, purposeful actions compound over time. Intentionality is not a momentary decision. It is a habit of thinking, acting, and reflecting with purpose every day. Writing a single page in a journal, reading one chapter of a book, or making one conscious effort to connect with someone might seem small, but when repeated daily with intention, these acts accumulate into significant transformation. The brain and body respond to repeated stimuli, and habits formed through intentional actions become automatic pathways to success. By embedding intentionality into daily life, we ensure that every action contributes to growth, every habit strengthens capacity, and every choice moves us closer to our vision. Intentionality also shapes resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Those who operate without clear purpose are more likely to be derailed by obstacles, discouraged by setbacks, and distracted by circumstances. Those who act intentionally, however, have a guiding principle that helps them navigate uncertainty. Purpose provides context that allows us to evaluate challenges, learn from mistakes, and stay focused on what truly matters. It transforms adversity from a threat into an opportunity for growth, turning potential debits into lessons that reinforce deposits. Ultimately, living intentionally bridges the gap between effort and outcome. It is what turns the routine actions of daily life into meaningful contributions to our success. Deposits made with clarity, consistency, and purpose compound far more effectively than actions performed without thought. Debits, when recognized and minimized through intentional reflection, lose their power to derail us. Every choice becomes a conscious investment in the person we are becoming, and over time, the cumulative effect of these intentional actions determines the trajectory of our life. Balance and momentum are essential forces that shape the outcome of our daily efforts. It is not enough to simply make deposits or avoid debits. The way we manage our energy, focus, and consistency over time determines whether our efforts translate into meaningful results. Many people work hard, take action, and pursue growth, yet they fail to see the results they hope for because they neglect the rhythm and sustainability of their actions. Success is not a sprint, but a marathon, and without balance, even the most determined efforts can lead to burnout, frustration, or stagnation. Momentum is the natural result of sustained, aligned effort, and balance is what allows that momentum to build steadily over time. Momentum is created when our daily actions become part of a continuous compounding cycle. Each positive choice reinforces the next, creating a flow that carries us forward with increasing ease and efficiency. Waking up early, completing tasks, exercising, reading, or reflecting consistently does more than check off items on a list. It strengthens our capacity to take further action. The more consistently we invest in our growth, the easier it becomes to maintain high standards and pursue bigger challenges. Momentum transforms effort into results that appear effortless from the outside because they are the product of accumulated disciplined habits. Without momentum, however, even strong efforts can feel scattered and progress becomes frustratingly slow. Balance ensures that momentum is sustainable. Overemphasis on one area, such as work or skill development, without attending to other dimensions like health, relationships, and emotional well-being, can lead to imbalance, which eventually undermines progress. A person who works tirelessly on their career but neglects sleep, nutrition, and social connections may achieve temporary wins, but these come at a cost. Energy diminishes, focus falters, and resilience weakens, creating debits that offset even the most impressive deposits. Maintaining balance allows us to manage our energy effectively, sustain consistent action, and make our efforts more impactful over the long term. Balance is not about perfect equality in all areas. It is about aligning our priorities so that our actions in one dimension support growth in another, rather than draining resources or creating conflicts. Another critical aspect of balance and momentum is the ability to recover and adapt. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. Even the most disciplined person will face moments of fatigue, failure, or distraction. The key is to prevent these moments from derailing progress entirely. Balance allows us to step back, recalibrate, and re-engage with our efforts, while momentum ensures that we do not lose ground during these pauses. Recovery is not a sign of weakness. It is an essential mechanism that preserves long-term capacity and enables sustained growth. By respecting the natural rhythms of effort and rest, we create a cycle where momentum can flourish without risking burnout or regression. Momentum also builds confidence. As small wins accumulate, we begin to see tangible evidence of our growth. Completing a project, mastering a skill, or reaching a personal milestone reinforces our belief in our ability to succeed. This confidence feeds further action, creating a virtuous cycle where effort, results, and belief in ourselves reinforce one another. Conversely, imbalance and neglect of foundational areas create friction, making it harder to sustain action and slowing the accumulation of momentum. By managing balance and nurturing momentum, we create a trajectory where consistent effort naturally leads to meaningful achievement. Ultimately, balance and momentum transform the abstract concepts of deposits and debits into living dynamics that shape our daily experience. They ensure that our efforts are not wasted, that our energy is well spent, and that our growth compounds over time. Without balance, we risk exhaustion and setbacks. Without momentum, we risk stagnation and frustration. Together, they create the conditions for consistent, sustainable progress, allowing us to maximize the impact of every deliberate action we take and steadily move toward the success we envision. The quiet power of habits is one of the most overlooked determinants of long-term success. While motivation can spark action and inspiration can provide direction, it is the habits we cultivate daily that shape who we become and what we achieve. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. They operate in the background, often unnoticed, yet they govern the outcomes we experience over months and years. A single choice repeated consistently forms a habit, and that habit, over time, compounds into results far greater than any one time effort could produce. The power of habits lies not in their grandiosity, but in their persistence. Small, deliberate actions performed consistently create momentum, establish patterns, and ultimately define the trajectory of our lives. The most successful people are rarely those who rely solely on bursts of effort or motivation. They are those who structure their lives in a way that ensures positive actions become automatic. Brushing your teeth, making your bed, or following a morning routine may seem trivial, yet these small, repeated actions are the foundation of self-discipline. They signal to yourself that you are capable of consistency, and they provide a framework upon which more significant actions can be layered. When we cultivate strong intentional habits, we free up mental energy. We no longer have to constantly make decisions about basic actions, allowing our focus to shift toward higher level goals and creative problem solving. Habits turn discipline into default behavior, reducing friction and increasing productivity over time. Equally important is the way habits influence character and mindset. Repeated behaviors shape identity. When we act with integrity, pursue growth, or take care of our health consistently, we reinforce the belief that we are capable, responsible, and resilient. Conversely, neglecting positive habits or allowing destructive behaviors to persist sends a different message to ourselves. Each small failure to act intentionally chips away at confidence, discipline, and momentum. Habits are therefore not just routines, they are expressions of who we are becoming. They provide evidence of our commitment to growth and the type of person we aim to be. Over time, these habits build a self-reinforcing cycle. Intentional actions create identity, identity strengthens consistency, and consistency produces results. Another key aspect of habits is their compounding effect. A single healthy meal, one page of a book, or a short daily walk may seem inconsequential on its own, but repeated over weeks and months, these small actions create extraordinary results. This is why focusing on incremental improvements is often more effective than seeking sudden transformation. Habits work like interest in a bank account. The earlier and more consistently they are applied, the greater their long-term impact. Attempting to rely solely on willpower or sporadic effort is like trying to generate wealth through a single windfall. It may help momentarily, but it rarely produces sustainable results. Habits ensure that growth is steady, measurable, and cumulative. Habits also provide resilience against setbacks. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. When we have established positive routines, we are better equipped to maintain progress even when motivation wanes. Habits act as guardrails, keeping us aligned with our goals when external circumstances or emotional fluctuations threaten to pull us off course. They create a structure that allows us to navigate difficulty without losing momentum. Conversely, weak or inconsistent habits leave us vulnerable to distraction, temptation, and discouragement, making it harder to recover from setbacks and slowing the compounding of our efforts. Finally, habits are the practical expression of intentionality, balance, and consistency. They convert abstract principles into tangible actions that shape our daily life. Each small, repeated effort, whether learning, exercising, reflecting, or connecting with others, becomes a building block for success. Habits may be quiet, subtle, and invisible to others, but their power is undeniable. They determine whether the deposits we make grow exponentially or are lost in the noise of inconsistency. By focusing on cultivating strong, deliberate habits, we create a life in which success is not random or fleeting, but the natural result of the small daily actions we take consistently with purpose and awareness. Every day we make choices, some conscious, some automatic, that shape the trajectory of our lives. The deposits we make, the debits we avoid, the intentionality we bring to our actions, the balance and momentum we cultivate, and the habits we build, all of these forces work together to determine whether we achieve meaningful success. Success is not a sudden event or a stroke of luck. It is the result of countless small, deliberate actions compounded over time. When we recognize the power of daily deposits, we see that growth is built gradually And that consistency outweighs dramatic gestures. When we understand the impact of debits, we become aware of the subtle ways we can drain our own potential. By living intentionally, we ensure that every action aligns with our purpose, turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. Through balance and momentum, we create a sustainable rhythm that carries us forward even when challenges arise. And through the quiet, compounding power of habits, we reinforce identity, discipline, and resilience. The beauty of this approach is that it puts control firmly in your hands. Every day is an opportunity to invest in yourself, to make deposits that add value, to minimize debits that steal your potential, and to shape your life with purpose. Your success is not determined by external circumstances, but by the daily choices you make, those small, often unnoticed decisions that over time define the person you become and the life you lead. Remember, the life you envision is built one day at a time, one choice at a time, one habit at a time. If you commit to mindful action, consistency, and intentional growth, success is not a distant goal. It becomes the natural outcome of the life you are already designing. Make each day count, invest wisely, protect your energy, and watch as your small, deliberate efforts accumulate into extraordinary results. Your account of success is yours to manage, and the power to shape it lies in the deposits and debits of each day.